This is a first look inside of our new darkroom. So I will say that we haven't really gotten this fully finished yet. There's still quite a bit of work to do in terms of mechanicals. We need some electricians to come in and plumbers to help me hook up the rest of the stuff. But I figured I can at least give you guys a little bit of a tour to see what it looks like with the setup. So here we are. This is the darkroom. I have a dry side and a wet side. So over here on the dry side, we've got two enlargers. This is the Bessler 45 MX enlarger. This is going to be 4x5 medium format. We can also do 35 on there as well. And that one's set up so that we can do large prints, 16 by 20. You'll notice actually it's so tall. This is the VXL. It's so tall that we had to cut a hole into the ceiling to make it fit. So that was the challenge with that one. And then we have on this side, this is my old enlarger. This is the Omega D2. And this one also can do 35 medium format and 4x5. This one I'm going to keep set up pretty much for 6x8. So 6x8 medium format, we're going to be shooting that on the Fuji GX 683. If you guys got a chance to see my previous video, we did a little bit of a ASMR tour and see what it sounds like shooting with the GX 680. And so that one's going to be set up mostly for that one, and we can also do contact sheets and things like that. Now in the background, you're also going to see we have heating pecs or pipes. There's also some Cat 5 cabling over on the corners, and so you know these things all have to kind of get fixed. We are in the basement, so we had to work around plumbing that couldn't be moved. And over on the wet side, you'll see here in a second, there's also some drain pipes and things we couldn't move either. So we're working around you know the challenges of building a darkroom in the basement, but I think it's actually going to be a really good space for this. And then so if we tour over on the wet side, now I do apologize for the mess over here, but you're going to see over here on the wet side, we've got our large sink. This is a, I think it's 72 inches wide. This is a stainless steel sink. It's enough for 4 of the 16 by 20 trays. So we can have developer, stop bath, fixer, and then a wash. And it all fits within the one sink. So that's kind of a really nice way to go. You'll also notice that we have hanging from the rafters, this is our Fuji X-T3. And so we're going to be recording a lot more videos coming to you from the darkroom, which is kind of crazy. We've done a little bit of testing in terms of low light, and I think it's going to work out, although we'll have to see when we get, you know, when we're just lighting with the safe light and there's no actual softbox on here. We'll have to see how that looks, but I think it's going to be good. So if you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the chat, and I'm excited to show you guys some more. So let's take a look at some of the equipment that we've pulled out on this side. We've got our stainless steel tanks, our reels. This is for processing medium format film. We'll be able to shoot 120 with the Fuji and you know, black and white, roll the film onto the reels in the dark, and then load them into the tanks for development. So we'll be showing you guys some videos for that. In the middle here, we have some chemistry. We've got some old Kodak chemistry. Ooh, orientation problem. We have some old Kodak chemistry. This is the Dectal. We also have D76 for doing film developing. And then we also have our Ilford. So we have Ilford, Ilfosol, and our Rapid Fixer. So we're going to be using all of those lovely chemicals to process film and make some prints. And then over on the dry side, if we come over here, the dry side, we've got the two enlargers. So there's the 45 MX and the Omega D2. And then in the middle, we've picked up, I don't know if you guys can see, there's not a lot of light here. Yeah, let's turn the light that direction. There we go, that's much better. You can see we also have our Rotatrim paper cutter in the center. And then we've got a Graylab darkroom timer. I've got a couple lenses, a filter kit for the enlarger, And then this is also all of our negative carriers. So I can do 35 millimeter, I can do 4x5, I can do medium format, 6x6, 6x7, 6x8, 6x9. Although I don't have a 6x8 carrier, so I'm gonna have to modify, either cut the 6x7 or modify the 6x9. So we'll see which way that goes. And then we also have, this is my lovely peak loop. So this is gonna be for focusing and checking the grain to make sure that's in focus when we're on the enlarger. So yeah, that should be pretty fun to work with. And then this table is actually an old industrial, this came out of a machine shop and we refinished it to look a lot nicer. So it's nice and sturdy, which is good, and holds both enlargers. I actually bench mounted the Omega enlarger directly to the bench. So that's kind of an interesting way to go for that. And then the Bessler has its own tabletop here. You'll also see this is our 16 by, no, I'm sorry, this is the 11 by 14 easel for holding the paper. So we're going to be working with that quite a bit. And the nice thing about this is when it's way up in the air, we can actually focus with these lower knobs instead of having to reach way up into the air with the other enlarger. So that's why we're going to use that one for some of the larger prints. So again, if you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them for you. Thanks.